Hello everyone and welcome to Werven's World. Today I would like to talk about designing your own ships in the game. I won't be talking about which parts are good to put on it, which ones are best in battle and stuff, but more from an aesthetic point of view, so how to use the editor to full effect in order to create a nice looking ship that you would be proud of. So with that I have 3 tips, so let's get started. For the first tip we'll basically be looking a bit at how the designer interface works. So when you're in your shipyard menu, you can click on designer and then add new design. Then you see this. You can make tiny hulls, small hulls, medium hulls, and so forth. And then you can click either a pre-made design and edit that. You can drag around with the left mouse button and you can zoom in and out with the wheel. And if you hold the wheel, you can rotate. And if you click on the box, you just basically make a new design. So then you can fill the design with nice looking parts. So now we're not putting weapons or anything on it. This is just purely aesthetic. So you can click on this one here. And then you see all the parts that you can use. So let's say we want to have a cockpit. Then you can just snap it to any of these things. And now let's say we want this bigger. Well, you have the scale here when you click on it. And you can make it bigger. But what if I only want to make it broader? Then I can go to proportional scaling, I can click that off, and then you get scaling in all the 3 axes. So for example, I can make it broader by dragging only the x-axis, and the rest will stay the same. So that's quite nice, it's quite versatile. So then there is rotate, where you can kind of rotate the thing, and offset, which means where exactly the thing is in relation to where you clicked it on the design. So I'll make it broad again. So then, for example, let's say I want to make engines. So I'll put one engine on. However, I also want one in the same place there. Then I can click on it and I can click on mirror, toggle symmetry along horizontal axis. And it puts an engine there. This means that they behave exactly the same if they're kind of grouped, right? So if I scale this one, the other one will also be scaled. So if you don't want that, you would just put another engine there instead of using the mirror option, because now they're completely linked. So then you can animate them. For example, let's say I want them to rotate. I think that's the z-axis, I'm not entirely sure. Then you can click on speed, it's now on 0, and you can click that higher. See, so now they're actually rotating. You can also make them oscillate, which means that they go back and forth, and you can adjust the speed of that as well. But I just want these to be rotating. You can also see that they have like blue and white, and you can invert the colors by clicking on edit and invert materials. So what white is will be blue, and what is blue will be white. There. So let's see. Then you can also group some things together. So let's say I have this thing here on top and this engine on there. Then you can click and hold Control and click on the other one. Do I have them both now? Hold Control. Yes, there. And then you can say save group of components as a new part, or you can just group them. So if I just group them, then I can kind of edit them as if they were one part. So now this engine part is also scaled. But you can also save it as a new part. Now I can't anymore for some reason. Ungroup. Huh. Come on. There we go. You can also save it as a new part, and then it will end up in your list. So if you made a really nice part that you want to make it use in more ships, then you can save that part as one, and you can use it in your future designs. So these are the very basic options of how to use the editor, and the next 2 tips will be some advanced stuff that makes it way easier and nicer to edit. So for tip number 2, we will get more parts to play with. So if you go to options, you can click on show parts from other styles. If you click on that, done, then it loads in all the other parts. So if you click on this tab again, you get all the parts from all the other races basically, because now I was playing as a Terran and I got all the Terran parts, but let's say I also want to play around with pieces from other races, then now you can. So I just activated them and then they're here and you can use them in your designs as well. So that allows for way more creative freedom in how exactly you want your ships to look. So that's really, really nice. So you can add all these things and rotate them and whatever. So yeah, you can probably come up with some really cool designs like this because you just have way more parts to play with. And for tip number 3, we also have to go to the options and we can click on show design gizmos. Because now, let's say I want to rotate, well, here this ring, for example. I can go to, let's turn off the animation for a bit. There. We can go here to this rotate tab, and then you have to, well, you have to drag with these things, and they kind of work quite nicely. This UI is actually quite nice, but there is a way to do it more nicely, in my opinion, is if you go to options and you can click on show design gizmos. So then you actually see this thing here, and this kind of makes more intuitive sense to me. So you can, depending on which part you click, you see it. And now, for example, if I click on this blue one, that means that I basically turn this part to the left. So you can kind of drag it around. And the red one will lean it forward or backwards. And the green one will rotate it. So I really like this. So you can also do that with the scale. With the scale. Sorry. Now I'm only dragging this part. No, wait. Sorry. You have to turn off proportional scaling, of course, otherwise it scales everything. So now I just make it higher, make it longer or shorter, and thicker. So this is really nice. And then with offset, you can basically decide where exactly you want to put these parts. So to me, this is way nicer to use than this. I'm not sure if you think the same about it, but I really like this option. And it's a bit hidden. It's under options, show design gizmos. So I hope these tips were useful. I know they're quite basic, kind of just how to use the interface and unlocking these design gizmos and show parts from other styles. But I hope you found it useful nonetheless. And yeah, good luck designing awesome ships.